Hi, this is Adam. I'm the lead programmer.
Hey, this is Brad, I'm director.
And this is Dan, I'm the senior designer. And this is the Destroy All Humans evolution of the game movie. And yeah, this build is our first proper build, which was March 2003.
March 2003, that's right.
This
It's
had
about 3 months in.
And this had the cool building destruction in it that we had buildings under lots of physics pieces. It's a very early prototype. Couldn't totally keep all of this in the full game, unfortunately, but you know,
Like 3,000 buildings in this.
there's like 3,000 buildings in this level. You'll note how insanely huge this level is, and that was because there was no people walking around it, and you were just flying around in a UFO, so it could be quite large.
Notice you're switching through the multiple weapons. There was the red
Yep.
beam, the blue beam, and of course the green beam. Yeah,
Yes,
the
yes.
famous green beam.
My favourite was the green beam, I think.
Yeah.
It's quite edgy, the green beam.
Mm.
Had an edgy quality to it.
Also notice the copious amount of roads that Brad placed down in this early prototype. I think he spent
Many
a full
roads.
day laying several tens of kilometres of road network only to
It was
throw
an
it all away
authentic
how many
city.
days
See,
later?
watch that building collapse. I mean, doesn't that make Yes, I did. Yes. Where we had like 4-lane highways and all sorts of things in this early prototype.
This actual map was the one that went down into Uniontown, wasn't it? Like we had this whole map,
Yep.
and then it went down into, we added a docks area to the side of this map, and then that slowly, of course, about a year turned into
Yes.
Uniontown. So it's still in the game, you know,
Yes.
sort of.
Technically. This is the point where we were, of course, quite stupid and made an enormous map that we could never actually make work, so...
Yep.
on let alone
Yes.
That's right. This is when we had the hypno beam. Was collecting. You had to collect as many people as possible and have them follow you back to your ship, so
Yeah.
you could feed them to your space beasts.
That's right, and originally there was no abilities, there were just all guns with
Yeah.
crypto, which we eventually morphed into a set of guns and a set of abilities.
This was the most awesome mode of the game, and I am deeply saddened that it's cut
Yeah.
at ludicrous speed.
Fortunately, we just couldn't get the rights to the music.
Yeah, to the music that we can't tell you what the music is
Yes.
because.
I think you can
you don't have
guess.
the rights to it.
Yeah. And so this was 2 months after that, so this was
This was the May build. I
May
think.
2003. And this is our first ever mission in Bay City.
Bay City, which you'll notice isn't in the final game. So
Yeah.
don't go looking for it. It's not hidden anywhere in the game.
Nowhere.
Really, nowhere at all. Really, it isn't hidden
No.
anywhere. Don't spend hours looking for it. So there, we got a shadow on the UFO there.
Some cool baked-in lighting as well on the terrain.
Yeah.
Yep. It's an awesome lead animator VO as well.
That's right, yes, yes.
A token American.
Well, you need a token American on any game development team.
Yep.
Crypto looked a bit constipated back in the early days, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got his disintegrator ray, a very early version of his disintegrator ray here.
Yep.
And you'll see one of the many variants on targeting schemes in the game, which you'll probably see a different one in every single one of these builds in this movie.
Where did that traffic light go? I don't remember seeing any traffic lights in the game.
We had traffic lights and we had plans to have them turn green and red
Oh,
depending
always had
on
plans,
traffic.
but,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the old Sonic Boom. It's cool.
Yes, the old Sonic Boom. It's like a machine gun. Didn't really look like a Sonic Boom, but it
No.
was quite fun to use. This would almost be our proto-capital. Well, except it's just one building. But
Yep.
This site really had everything, didn't it?
Mm.
It
had
did.
the dogs, it had the...
It had something for everyone, I think
Yeah.
you
for
could say.
everyone.
It was a site for all seasons. So yeah, at this point we were still very UFO-centric.
Yeah, I think we've got like one or two more builds until we started
Yeah.
focusing on crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our first cinematic.
Yes. Yes.
That was awesome.
It was technically a prototype for the landing sequence, I guess. You could call it that. Crypto falling out of the
Yeah.
UFO.
Yeah, this is absolutely massive.
It took you a very long time to walk around from
Yeah.
one end of the city to the other.
Very
Yes.
uninteresting walk around.
Very uninteresting walk.
Oh, Zapmatic is a charge weapon.
Yeah, Zapmatica's charge weapon. It was kind of too much like the
power-ups.
disintegrator ray.
It's more like anal probe now.
Yes, yes. Yeah, this is for a period we had people and vehicles dropping power-ups, and I mean this kind of morphed into the whole idea of extracting brains from people. We always knew we wanted to use people and vehicles as some sort of resource in the game. In the end, we just used people as resources, but this is kind of the earliest version of that.
This is July 2003, which is when we first had Santa Modesta, I think. Of course, I'm about to be proven wrong.
Yeah, ever-changing logo sequence. And
Yeah.
running across. Actually, I don't know. This is the
That
second
one's
time.
shit now, isn't it? What? Isn't that one in the game?
No.
That one's not.
No, not anymore.
Shows you how many times I start the intro.
It's because you're too busy developing the game.
That's right.
It's first shell.
Yes,
Those buttons are really blurry.
they are.
I'm glad we fixed that problem.
Yeah, yeah. I always liked the little zoom in on the Earth. That was pretty cool. Not as cool as the mothership, but you know, it was cool.
The gallery of cut sites.
Yes. In fact, I think this whole segment of the movie is going to be cut, isn't it? So I don't know if there's any point in actually doing any sort of video on it.
Okay, let's just assume it's cut.
Let me just scratch my ass for a few minutes.
Santa Modesta.
Can I say is that like copyright?
Yeah, that's copyright. We're gonna have to.
I think as long as you're talking about.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Caffeinated beverages are bad for you.
This is a sunny suburban Santa Modesta, so you're actually seeing something that sort of survived to the final version of the game, although
Yeah.
it's quite a different layout to it.
This is also while we're in our make everything as huge as possible mindset.
Yes, and there's the cloak on the UFO, so
Yeah.
another cut concept. We have many of those. We tried that one out, but you know, it was kind of boring flying the UFO around when no one could see you and no one could attack you, so we ended up removing it. Also the fact that I think it took a meg one
Animation, yeah.
Yeah.
Also note the end of the constant 60 frames a second.
Our programmers lament this endlessly. They weep. Little tears come out of their eyes. So it would have been nice to get the game running at 60 frames, unfortunately.
There's an awesome water splash effect.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah, that's
that was pretty impressive. I don't think we've never truly topped that non-existent water splash. There's people walking around.
That's the first stab at the awareness system as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, all the people. Yes.
People running around and making more people come out.
Look at that. That death ray doesn't look so different from the way it looks in the game now. I mean, it looks a bit different, but it doesn't have that big glitchy, fuzzy thing on the front.
Yeah, this is another targeting system. Towing on lasers.
Yes.
it's 3 of 20.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Stage 3 of 20.
You can safely blame me for all of these too.
This would be interface 4 of 30.
4
Yes.
of 30, yes.
Yes. And there's the Sonic Boom looking
And
a bit more like its
UFO
final version.
1 of 2. Actually, this is 2 of 3. Hang on, that's the same ship as we got now.
Yeah.
No, it's a bit different.
I think it's a bit different. Yeah. It's not too far off though. Now, was this post Havoc? Or pre-
No, we're yet to unleash the awesomeness of Havoc at this point.
No.
We're still
Using a competing brand.
competing brand.
Yes. Yes.
Which is why our physics hasn't been taken to the next level yet. It's,
Oh, our physics is on the next level.
well, not yet.
No, yeah. Oh, in the bit. No,
Oh,
no, that's
exactly.
right.
Oh, at this
Oh,
time.
right
no.
now it is,
No.
yes.
No.
Oh, you
Brain
had to
bug.
show this, didn't you?
Yeah, it had to cut because of streaming.
Yeah.
Yes. Unfortunately. Which of course
This-
morphed into the
yeah.
brain extraction and the anal probe now.
This also isn't anywhere in the game. I wouldn't look for it.
No,
No.
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 Nowhere at all.
Yeah, this is... I don't know when this is.
This is probably that
Oh,
October
it's,
build, isn't it?
No, if it was about August, I'd say.
August.
August
would be,
2003.
Yeah. This is Furon Down, which
But
was
yeah.
our kind of showcase mission for a long time, test out a lot of gameplay ideas, to obviously trying out cinematics here, and one of our designers in particular, Courtney, has worked on this mission, well, probably for like a year and a half now.
Yeah.
He loves it he loves it dearly. It's like his little child.
I think we've all touched Huron down at some stage.
I think everyone, yeah, it's close to the heart of everyone.
Yeah. It was back when Holobob was called the Body Snatcher.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Meet and greet.
Meet and greet was something.
Also something not in the game now.
Oh yes, yes. It was. We were suffering from a bit of VO exponential explosion here, and the meet and greet was supposed to be something where you could go up and talk to people, but it never really quite worked out. It was a neat idea, and maybe it's something we can revisit again later. Just like holobobbing animals. Oh, those wacky quadrupeds.
You can tell by that animation why we don't have holobobbing animals.
Yes. It was very satisfying to be able to bark at people though, but yes, alas.
Oh, first PK.
Yeah.
That was before Havoc.
Before Havoc, as you can
Before
tell.
Havoc, yes.
Yeah. Before we had people avoiding other people.
Yes. So we get hypnotised in here too. That's a pretty good dance.
Before it got changed to Monroe Island and not Brad Island.
Yes, well, that wasn't my fault. What's he actually doing here? I can't remember.
He's talked to the scientist, and the
Hey,
scientist.
jetpack. Was this the first jetpack?
This is the first jetpack.
First
Yeah.
jetpack.
This is the first bit of the jumping across the buoys to get to the island. Except
Yes.
it was barges.
That's right. Wait, yeah, it was, yeah. Most of this is still in the game too.
Yeah.
It's,
I believe so, yes. The jetpack, that pretty much stuck as it was very close to the first implementation, which is
Amazing.
a bit of a
Yes.
rarity.
Yeah.
yes. Well, until we rewrote it at the last minute.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It turned it into huge monkeys that carried you along.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
right. Storks.
Yeah.
Storks that fly crypto around.
We had quantum.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're pretty close to the full weapon set by this point, yeah.
This is still in Huron Down, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, this is,
Blowing
yep,
up everything.
yep. The island looked a bit more manicured back in those days. It was
Water tower.
Water tower.
The constant Cold War between the Mercs team and us, and getting
Yes.
the most awesome water tower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Battle of the Water Towers.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, this is talking of Mercs. This is the first Mercs. This is where we sort of tried borrowing the Mercs control scheme, and
That's right, the first
Yeah.
twin stick, yeah.
yeah.
That lasted a week, didn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that lasted a week.
It was more. It was more a prototype for when we'd put it back in
Yeah,
a year later.
Exactly,
yeah.
It was a prototype that was kept on ice
Yeah.
for a very long time.
And this is first. This is Destination Earth, but in Rockwell before
Yeah.
we moved it over to the farm.
That's right, yes.
Yeah.
And we'll probably tell you the story of the farm somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do we have any E3? We have E3 footage.
We have
in
E3
here?
footage, so
All
we
right,
can talk about the
we
farm
can
there.
talk about the farm.
We're still in, this would be a January build, wouldn't it?
Oh no, this is November
November,
2003.
okay.
So this, when you used to use your abilities, we used to have this effect on this aura effect, and everyone would go silhouetted, and there were different auras for different abilities that you could use on creatures and people. But
It
we
get
ended up-
very foggy as well.
it did get very foggy,
Yeah.
and kind of ruined a bit of the effect of, say, PKing someone, or it wasn't as fun to scare someone when they were just a black silhouette. So we ended up ditching the idea.
This is the first cow